Good evening or good morning, depending on where you're watching this from. This is going to be the first of hopefully many live streams, and it'll be mainly focused on crypto trading and crypto price charts. So let's get straight into it. I'll do a quick screen share real quick. Okay, so I quite like to use CoinMarketCap to just have a quick market overview and look at a few things. One thing that I do like to look at quite often is the Fear Greed Index, as crypto trading and most things to do with investments and things like that are to do with emotions. So emotions play a big part of if people feel safe having their money in the markets or whether people are scared, so start to sell their assets. So this is why I quite like to have a look at this, the fear greed, because usually if you do the opposite of what this says, then you're usually it's usually a pretty good thing. And at the moment, as you can see, it's 32, which shows that there's a lot more fear in the market than greed, which usually means that more people are quite scared or skeptical about having money in the market, which is usually quite a good time to be buying. And anything in this stream is just for entertainment purposes only. It's nothing to do with investment advice and stuff like that. But yeah, so at the moment we've got 32 level fear, which has definitely been lower in the past, but you can see that people aren't buying left and right, selling everything and just going straight all into the market. Okay. So the total market cap's hovering just under $3 trillion. Still very, very low in my opinion for the crypto market. I do feel like it's got a lot higher to go in the near to distant future. Okay. So down here, if we go to RSI, you can see that the majority of cryptos in the market sentiment is in oversold territory. which means that pretty much you want to be doing or how I see things is you want to be doing the opposite of what the majority of people are doing. And if something is oversold, then it's usually a good idea to be dollar cost averaging into the market slowly or on a daily basis or whenever possible with sort of spare funds. And yeah, here on CoinMarketCap, we can see that it's clearly oversold and by quite a large margin, so almost 90 to 1. Throughout this live stream, I'll be going between TradingView and CoinMarketCap, and just to sort of compare indicators, have a look at the markets, see what I think and what my opinions are. And if anybody has any questions, then feel free to drop them into the chat and I will answer or have a look at anything, questions or any charts you'd like me to have a look at, for example. Okay. So CoinMarketCap, we see we're in oversold territory with a negative sentiment, which usually means that there's actually some opportunities in the market, and there's usually always opportunities in the market, whether you're trading long or short options or even both. There's always, every day, there's new opportunities in the market. But one thing that you have to look out for is, I feel like you have to not just have your eyes glued to charts 24/7, because I feel like that's not very healthy and probably quite a few people struggle with. I definitely have in my past, where I potentially missed out on sleep because of staring at price charts, and you don't really want to be getting into those sort of habits. But every now and then having a quick overview and seeing. So next I'll jump into TradingView and I'll go through a few of the indicators that I use to have a look at why I think the market will be going in certain directions and how I see it. Quickly stop sharing. Okay. So one of the first charts I quite like to look at is the DXY, the strength in the dollar index, and this chart is pretty much just a comparison of lots of different currencies against the US dollar, and usually but not always, if there's weakness within this chart, meaning if the price chart looks like it's going to go down or looks like there's about to be a turn, like a downtrend, then it usually means that commodities, for example, gold, silver, or also crypto markets and stocks and shares are usually about to go up. Not always, and it's not always guaranteed like that, but it has worked out like that a few times in the past. And I quite like to have a look at the daily time frames because me personally, I quite like to think long term in terms of my trades. In the past, I was looking at 5 minute charts and short, like small time frames, but now I am focused more on the long term game, which for me personally is the one I want to be playing. And I think you can generate larger incomes if you have this sort of longer term mindset. But also, I mean, you can we can have a look at short term time frames and see if there are any nice setups and stuff like that. So I've got a little triangle drawn on this with a few of the EMAs, but I don't need the EMAs right now. I will chuck them off. So I've just got a bit of a long term from about 2020 if you're on the DXY here. And in my opinion, this chart does look quite bearish to me. I do feel like it's about to go down further just because we've seen come back up against this resistance. It's failed, and here we can see it's done a 1, 2, 3 triple tap on this this area here, and on all. But if we have a look on the daily time frame here of XRP, we did see a lovely little golden triangle. Hold on. Little golden broke the 200, and this here was amazing time to go long back in December. For the big uptrend, and it's been in these two consolidating triangles for a longer time now. So one here is broken out of, and this second one here is also broken out of the top and is almost using the top as a support line now, which in my opinion here is actually a really good time to go long on XRP. I've recently been putting spot buys on this on XRP, but you can do whatever you feel like doing. But me personally, this is what I would be doing. And one of the main exchanges that I use and will be using going forward is LBank. And you can use LBank to trade, to do spot buys, so you can buy USDT and then use it for trading. And this is something that I have been doing and will be doing going into the future. Okay. Yeah, this is a really nice breakout of this triangle, and we'll try drop the fib retracements to see where this can potentially go. Okay, so from swing low, swing low, swing high. moment it's like $125 billion dollar market cap. But if it reaches these extensions, could be looking at another 100% increase on this. I'd definitely be looking at XRP as a long option, but with spot buys. But if you like to be trading it with leverage, then it's also an option. But I used to do a little bit of leverage trading, but now I do feel a lot safer just spot buying. I'm gonna be 2 seconds. I just gotta check my charger because my laptop is running out of charge quicker than it's charging, which is definitely not ideal. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay. Another crypto I'm a really big fan of is XLM. This coin has really similar price action to XRP. As you can see, it's in the same two triangles as XRP and follows it very, very closely. I can draw these on now. Draw it in like this. Okay. I'd also be putting and have been doing some spot buys on XLM recently, as do feel like this has a lot higher to go. One form of research that I quite like to do is going on the websites of each cryptocurrency, having a look who their team is, who they're working with, what companies they're talking with, and what they're trying to do, just to gain more confidence in what the coin and the company are trying to do. And when you gain more confidence in the crypto, it's a really positive thing, because a lot of people have no confidence within the crypto market or crypto trading, which is completely understandable because it has been around for years, but it's still quite a new asset class. A lot of people are slowly getting exposed to it more and more. But it's still fairly new, and people still don't have a lot of trust when it comes to it. So it's important to do as much of your own research as possible, so then you've got as much confidence in what you're holding as an asset moving forward. And the more trust you have and the more confidence you have, the more likelihood of success that you'll have within these quite tricky markets. Yeah, as soon as you see it sort of going red, it's time to sell, um, or close out your longs, or even get a short position going. It's definitely not a bad idea with stop losses to, um, for example, here, as soon as you see this going red, put a little stop loss on this, and I'll go over setting up these trades, these long and short trades with stop losses in the not too distant future. But this would have been a great option here to sort of, let's even come to a back test of the Gaussian channel here. This would have been a perfect entry for a short option here. But you can use the Gaussian channel on any sort of chart patterns. H bar also. H bar is, in my opinion, a crypto I'm very confident investing in, putting in spot buys. I really like what they're doing and have a lot of confidence in them. But also here you could argue, put a little short option here if you're doing these sort of trades. I'm personally not, but for purpose of information, I will be talking about this stuff. Okay, IOTA, in my opinion, on a daily time frame, has got a beautiful price chart. This is something that I will be trying to accumulate for the long term and see this going a lot higher, but this price chart is just bottomed out and it does look like it's about to start going up significantly, which is well, in my opinion, most of these altcoins that I am showing are about to go long and show a lot of bullish momentum. I do think this because, as we looked earlier, the fear greed index, there's a lot of fear in the market. A lot of people are usually probably holding a lot more stable coins for the moment. So people are holding more stable coins, and I think soon it'll rotate. Also going back to the Bitcoin dominance chart, where we saw that the Bitcoin dominance chart looks very bearish, which means a lot of capital from Bitcoin is about to flow down the line into these altcoins. So we could be seeing some really nice returns here going forward. Another one of my favorite coins, or an altcoin that I like to look at and keep an eye on, is Quant. This coin has been consolidating for one of the longest times, and usually when you see a coin consolidating for a really long time, there is a saying called the longer the base, the higher in space, which means the longer it sort of consolidates for and goes sideways like this and just not really doing much, then it's due to sort of just completely explode at some point. And in my opinion, we will actually be seeing this in quant. The time isn't guaranteed when, but I do think in the not too distant future, in terms of potentially even weeks or maybe even days, we'll start to see breakouts in different altcoins. And I think quant is one of those that we'll see. We could easily see this going to $10 billion market cap, which is a 10x from here in the future. Only time will tell, but this coin has been consolidating since about 2021 with no significant uptrend since. So this is a coin I'd definitely be accumulating in terms of spot buys, or maybe even looking at longs. We'll have a look at what the Gaussian channel says on this. Okay, it's just a bit of consolidation. But it does almost look like it wants to go green. Right, interesting. I feel like we will be seeing I feel like it's inevitable for these altcoins that I'm going through to go a lot higher in the future. Of course, time will tell and we will see, but I've done quite a lot of research into the teams and the companies that these cryptos are working with and what they're trying to do. I can talk more about these in later live streams. And stuff like that, but for the moment I'll just be going over one by one of all the coins in my watch list and seeing and talking through some of the price action. XDC, in my opinion, is another undervalued gem, which I will be accumulating more of. And I think it has just hit a support line. Let's have a look at the EMAs here. So here we saw a beautiful golden cross back before here. Where the 55, most people use the 50 EMA, but I quite like to use the 55 EMA or any other EMAs. 54, 53, slightly different to other people. But here you saw the 55 cross the 200. which means that is just a great signal to go long. And that's exactly what the price shot did. Went long, and yeah, here we go. Also, Algorand's been consolidating for a long time, and in my opinion, is also a asset that at these price points is good to start accumulating, because I would potentially even be going long at these points. It does look like this price start just wants to just coil back up. We might see short, like small downtrends before, small crashes before the uptrend, the alt season. But in my opinion, we don't have much lower to go on most of these coins. So I think at this point where we are, I think it's a good time to start dollar cost averaging into the market. And one coin that I've been on for quite a while is Proppy. It's a RWA project that NFTs properties is a really interesting concept, and one that in the future will be used by more and more companies and industries and stuff like that. But I first started getting into Poppy before this price chart even came out. But when this price chart goes on when Poppy goes on an uptrend, it goes on an uptrend. It starts to absolutely fly. So you do really want to catch it before it sort of goes in these consolidation points, where it just goes dormant and almost looks like nothing's ever going to happen. So you buy in here, and it just explodes like a rocket, literally like a rocket. So it went from about 0.5 to 6, which is about a 12x here. And here it just looks like it's just started going dormant again in this point here. I'll try drop the EMAs on this now. Yeah, this price chart looks ready to run, I think. I have also been putting spot buys on this, and I do feel like it's a good time to start doing so here, like that. Spot buying these points. It does definitely look ready to run, and the team and everything behind this coin looks very positive and solid. So I'd definitely be looking at one to hold for the future. VeChain is another one of the coins I have on my watch list. It's actually a coin that has been consolidating for a very long time also, and hasn't seen much price action on a daily time frame. In this live stream, I'll mainly be going over the longer term time frames and what I see and what I have been seeing. But in future streams, I'll be diving into daily hourly, 15-minute, 10-minute price actions to try see if we can have a look at some shorter time frame trades. But for the moment, I want to have a look at some longer term price action. Just get rid of the RSIs for 2 seconds. But as you can see, at the moment, we are at a very low point in VeChain's price action, which in my opinion is a great time to be accumulating these coins. This is exactly when you want to be buying in, as the probability, and in crypto markets, probability means a lot, and in any type of investment. But the probability when you're investing at these price points, where it's just for example, for the last since 2020, so for the last 5 years, this asset has been above what it is now. I think that just means that it's a good time to get some spot buys in. It's one of the, especially knowing that Bitcoin dominance chart is just about to go on a bearish run, which means that money is and capital is likely to flow into these altcoins. We'll quickly have a look at some gold and silver commodities, and we have been seeing these go on an absolute tear, just going into all-time high. It's because there's so much uncertainty at the moment when it comes to investments, assets. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world at the moment, and so people feel the need or feel safer to be buying commodities like gold and silver, which is why I think we've seen such uptrends in these asset classes. Gold and silver has been skyrocketing, all-time highs, all-time highs, all-time highs. This is a gold-silver comparison chart, which sometimes I have a look at just to see how the correlations between gold and silver. And back here in about May 2020, I was having a look at this and I was talking to my brother actually about this, and we were saying how silver's going to go on a run, and this has happened. It's almost done. That's done over 100% increase in not a very long time. It's just carrying on going up and up and up. Okay, so go with VeChain, Alchemy Pay is another chart that's bottomed out. Most of these altcoins do look like they've completely bottomed out. And I think for the moment they do look great. Ethereum definitely looks like it's about to start breaking up higher. So there's been a bit of support for Ethereum for a long time. Did break beneath it for a little while, but then just started using it as support straight again. And here again it is. And I really do feel like ETH is about to just go like this. We'll see what it does exactly, but I definitely feel like in the short to mid-term future, we are due to see an altcoin run. From Ethereum to all the altcoins I've sort of gone through today, I do feel like we have higher prices. We are expecting higher prices. This was one of my first live streams, and I will watch this back and see what I can do better for the next one. Whether it's Wi-Fi connection, if it's all good, or whether I need to slow down or speed up. I'll have a look, watch it back, and see what I can improve. I've actually quite enjoyed this live stream. So I do feel like I can definitely talk about this sort of stuff for a while. But I am going to end it shortly. But still showing. I will end the live stream shortly and go have a little cup of tea before bed. But yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed talking about the crypto markets and some of the indicators that I am using. And also, I will be using LBank more and more going forward into the future. And I think that the exchange looks really good in terms of display and everything, user experience. I think it's great. Definitely one of the better exchanges I've used. And I'm actually quite excited to use it more and more and see what the future holds. So thank you very much, and hope you have a lovely evening or morning. All the best. Take care.